What was the exact moment or realization that made you to launch Qbit Force?
Indian CEOs, Indian scientists,
Or move from technology consumer to technology creator?
in Gurgaon, Maruti Suzuki.
Sir.
42 kilometers away, Hero Honda.
What are the biggest misconceptions about the quantum?
Look at the phone today. There's no single company which makes all the components there. Okay.
Get into tech, AI, or quantum computing. What should they do?
The goal is always to keep failing.
You were at the absolute peak of your corporate career at IBM. So, what was the exact moment or realization that made you to launch Qbit Force?
So, I left IBM only last year in October. So by that time, I had realized that there is so much talent and so much excitement in the quantum ecosystem in the country. And it was time for us to build products out of India. And there were a lot of young people who were looking for direction, who are still looking for direction. Many of them wanting to open their own startups, wanting to take their ideas and build something out of it. So, of course, I started my own startup, but one of my major goals now is to enable young people, others here in India, enable them to take their ideas and build and productize and take that to market. So that's what I'm really focused on these days.
What does success actually look for an Indian startup?
See, India so far has done excellent. A lot of great talent has come out of India. You look at all the top companies across the world, tech companies, Indian CEOs, Indian scientists, all of that. But what is now required is for us this time to use the talent right here in India. To make sure that that talent has if they want to go abroad, that's fine. But if somebody wants to use their talent and build things here in India, be able to build the companies of the future here in India. That's what we have to enable now. And to me, success is where any kid today has a good idea. That kid should be able to take that idea and build something valuable out of it, a world-leading company out of it, something which enables our society here to grow, which provides employment, which provides societal benefits. That to me will be the success, and I feel now is the right time.
Sir, what ecosystem and educational changes are required for India for making a student to move from technology consumer to technology creator?
The ecosystem needs to have central facilities. Every startup cannot have all the resources. Okay. So we need, for example, in quantum, we need central facilities like testing systems, fabrication. So if, for example, a startup wants to fabricate some parts or some components for the system they are building, they should not have to take that design and go abroad and get it fabricated or all of that and tested. We need to be able to, if some startup in India comes up with a new design for some component, they should be able to fabricate that design. They should once they have fabricated it, they should be able to test it here. Okay. That ecosystem hasn't yet developed. Well, it hasn't developed anywhere in the world. But in India, I think we need to make that effort to ensure that we are building that ecosystem. Design, fabricate, test. Design, fabricate, test. Design, fabricate, test. So that you speed up the building of those products. This triangle needs to be speeded up so that any startup, whether it's in any of these areas, should be able to just come sit into that ecosystem and build things. So I'll give you an example of this. Okay. One example was the year 1984 in Gurgaon, Maruti Suzuki. 42 kilometers away, Hero Honda. In that 42 kilometer stretch, in the year 1983-84, India was making zero components in the auto sector. But suddenly what happened is when they brought everybody together in that ecosystem, what happened was the ecosystem started to support each other, cooperate with each other, build components. And within 10 years, India was building all the auto components.
Yes,
and that's exactly what we want now to happen
in India,
in the Indian quantum ecosystem.
Okay, sir.
Also.
Sir, from your experience, what are the biggest misconceptions about the quantum?
See, the biggest misconceptions at this point, are if you look at most countries, or you look at the lay people, they all say, how many qubits have you reached?
Yes, sir.
100 qubits, 500 qubits. And so the narrative has become that you need, if you're not building 500 qubits, you're not doing something useful. But remember, any technology, you look at the phone today,
Yes, sir.
there's no single company which makes all the components there. Okay.
Yeah.
The components are built across the world and they're all put together. Okay. That's
Yes,
what happens. So for us to build these 100 qubit, 500 qubit, all these systems, we need a thriving ecosystem where all the parts are made.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 500 qubits will not just magically show up one day. You have to build that full ecosystem. Only then those 500 qubits can be reached. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we have to do. We have to work from the grounds up to build that full ecosystem,
Yes, sir.
which supports that 500 qubit target that you want to reach. And somewhere we are not enabling that ecosystem to support all the components, all the things that you need to reach that 500 qubits.
Yes, sir.
Even if you were to reach those 500 qubits by importing everything and then building one system, that is of no use. You have to build the full supply chain. You need to be able to control that supply chain. So we have to look at scale.
Yes, sir.
We have to look at market dominance. We have to look at societal impact with what we are building. And that's what we have to do. We cannot just keep talking about the end goal. We have to reach that end goal through the small steps that we need to take.
For students and young engineers who want to move beyond the coding and get into tech, AI, or quantum computing, what should they do?
Kids today, you have to look at the full stack. There is the qubits, then there is the control systems for that. Then there is the operating system, programming languages, algorithms, applications. So there is a full stack sitting out there. Okay. Students, whether they are from mechanical engineering, whether they are from civil engineering, chemical engineering, there is a spot in there in that, in that stack where students can sit. Okay. So number one thing is go beyond just the textbooks.
Yes, sir.
Textbooks are important for you to understand the basics. But after that, you have to become hands-on. And to become hands-on, go and do internships, whether it is in one of the National Quantum Mission labs,
Yes, sir.
whether it is in one of the startups, go and build things. Even if you are not able to go and do internships there, sitting wherever you are,
Yes, sir.
build some products out of it. Contribute to open source. Be world class. Aim to be world class, because I see many kids today reading from the book, doing one small project and then saying, okay, I'm done. Please give me a job.
Yes, sir.
That can't be the approach. You have to make sure that whatever you are learning is at a level where you can build a system out of it, whether it's hardware, whether it's middleware, whether it's control systems, whether it is software, all of those. It doesn't matter what it is, but you must be able to build it out.
Yes.
That's what you have to do.
Okay, sir, let's talk about research. In research, failure is often a big part of journey. Okay, can you share some time when you have an idea, experiment and failed, but ultimately that taught you something?
Lots of times.
Yes, sir.
The goal is always to keep failing. Because if you you have to aim big. Okay, you have to, let us say you're a student, right?
Yes,
so now these days, for example, when students come to me, I say that, why don't you build a LLM model? take one of your course books, build a ChatGPT like model for that textbook, take the exam that your teacher gives you, and see whether that model which you have built can score more than you in that test. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So take real problems from around you. Okay, that's what you have to do. And some of them, yes, we will fail. You know, maybe I won't have the skills. Maybe I won't have the resources for it. But until I try, I won't even know whether I can do it or I cannot. Whether I need those resources, which are, for example, if my college has some number of GPUs and I'm trying to implement some project, and then I have to implement. Only then will I realize that are those GPUs enough for me?
Me or not?
Do I need more?
Yes, sir.
Or do I need a better model to do this? So that's the level at which you have to go.
Yes, sir.
And when you go there will be projects where you will fail. Lots of times. And that has happened to me many, many times. In IBM, for example, there were projects which I started. After a year, after 2 years, my management told me, what rubbish, stop that.
Yes, sir.
That's of no use to anybody. That won't bring us any revenue. We need to move on. Sorry, I stop. Then I move to another thing. Okay. But that is part of your learning process because you will learn more from your failures than from the successes. I'm sure you know that. You've heard it many times.
Yes,
Sounds like a cliche, but that's what it is. You have to fail to succeed.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights.
I'm very happy. Thank you so much. You know, it was a pleasure meeting you and answering all the questions. So all the best. I know you're having a podcast where you're exploring a lot of very good topics.
Thank you.
So all the best.